A man walks into Gotham with one promise: not to defeat Batman, to break him. And the frightening part is how long he has been planning it. Years before Bruce Wayne ever hears his name. The movie begins at sea, on a cargo ship moving something it should not be moving. Below deck, people are locked inside a shipping container. The smugglers call it a delivery. They are due at a ceremony, and they are proud of being on time. Then something lands on the deck. The crew panics and shouts one word: Bat. Therefore they open fire into the dark at nothing. But the shape that steps out is not Batman. It is a man in white and gold, and he is not here to arrest anyone. He calls them defilers. He tells them their judgment has arrived. One smuggler begs. He promises to change. It does not help him at all. Remember this man in white. Everything that happens to Gotham later runs straight through him. Only now does the real Batman arrive, and he sees what is left of the deck. His voice is very quiet. Not this. Not again. Therefore, we already know something is wrong with his newest project. The man in white drops to his knees and asks for help. That is where the movie leaves him. Because to explain Gotham's worst night, we have to go somewhere else first. A prison in another country. A woman is giving birth in a cell, and the guards are counting on it being a girl. It is a boy. The room goes cold. She apologizes to a baby who cannot understand her yet. The warden explains the arrangement without blinking. Her husband committed the crime. Her husband is gone. Therefore, she and the boy serve his sentence instead. She says it is not right. He agrees and does nothing.
You and the boy must pay for your husband's sins. Life rarely is.
So the child grows up inside those walls, and the walls teach him everything. A grown prisoner takes the boy's food for sport. Bad idea, as it turns out. The boy is small, but he does not stay small forever. He brings what food he has left to his mother, who is ill. She refuses it and gives him a lesson instead. No weaknesses, no pities, not even for hers. Her rule is simple. If you want to live, you must want it more than anyone else. But she is teaching a child that kindness is a defect, and he is listening very carefully. A visiting priest brings the boy a gift. An old magazine about a faraway city. Gotham City. Towers that scrape the sky. And on the page, one photograph of a man named Thomas Wayne. His mother asks him why they read. He answers like a lesson learned by heart. Knowledge is strength, and strength is survival. She looks at the photograph of Thomas Wayne and tells her son he could be a man like that. He says it cannot happen from inside these walls. Therefore, she tells him to grow. To grow until the walls cannot hold him. He makes her a promise. He will make the world bow. He will buy her a palace in the sky. Someday they will go to Gotham together. It is almost sweet. It is about to stop being sweet.
And then I'll give you a palace in the sky, Mama. Someday we'll go to this Gotham and...
Because his mother does not survive the winter, a prisoner finds the newly orphaned boy and offers comfort. He says it is good to let other people carry your burdens. Now watch what the boy does with an offer of kindness.
It's good to let others...
That is weakness. And the weak, they deserve what they get.
The guards call him a demon, a bane on everything holy. And just like that, the boy has a name and a reputation in the same breath. They cannot execute him, so they invent something worse. A flooded pit under the prison called the Dark Cavity. Nobody lasts long down there, and the warden makes sure the boy knows it. They throw him in with the water and whatever lives in it, and they tell him to stay warm on his own hate. Years pass. The other prisoners stop asking how long he has been down there, because the answer is always the same. Forever. He has become their proof that a person can survive anything. Therefore, the government comes shopping. They have built something to make soldiers more than mortal, and every volunteer so far has broken. They need someone strong enough to survive it. They think they have found him. And they are right, which turns out to be the worst possible outcome for everyone. Gotham City. Bruce Wayne is sitting in a therapy session he does not want to be in, talking about a smart new intern named Tim. His doctor is Chandra Kinsolving, and she is not fooled for a second. She has listened to him for days. She knows exactly how intelligent he is, and she knows he wears a mask long before she knows which one.
Understand. You may have all of your board, the media, but I've been listening to you for a few days. I know the mask you put on for those around you.
He claims he came for a physical problem. She corrects him. He came because Alfred threatened to quit if he did not find help. She asks what gives him hope. He answers instantly. People. Helping people. So she tells him the truth nobody else will. He heals a whole city to avoid being healed himself. She calls him a control freak with a savior complex, then apologizes for being blunt, which is somehow worse. Her warning is the whole movie in one sentence. If he will not ask for help, something is going to break. And things that break do not go back together easily. Across town, Arkham Asylum is doing its nightly count. Cell 113 secure. Cell 114 secure. One inmate is chatty tonight. He mentions he is late for a tea party. Most dangerous of people in Guard Gotham hears a noise in the East Wing and calls out to a colleague who does not answer. Most dangerous of people in Guard Gotham. He reaches for the alarm. He does not reach it. And then Arkham explodes, and someone in the smoke announces that the liberation of Gotham has begun.
Shouldn't you slow down? No.
2 days later, Batman has not slept once. Tim tells him to rest. He says he will rest when every escaped inmate is back inside. Tim suggests bringing in Jean-Paul. That is the man in white from the cargo ship, and he is living in the Batcave now. Batman shuts it down. He calls Jean-Paul a bomb that needs defusing. He is only in the cave because nobody else on Earth would try to help him. Tim wants to come along. He is told to stay put and fly the drone. Guess how well that holds up over the next hour. The drone finds the Mad Hatter throwing a party north of their position, and the guests are all wearing his hats. He compliments them on how splendidly they are doing. Therefore, he decides it is time for dessert, and asks everyone to pick up the knives in front of them. Batman arrives before dessert is served. He is offered a nice cup of tea. He declines, but the Hatter's guests will do anything he tells them, and what he tells them to do is play a game about heads coming off. Watch what happens when a man who has not slept in 2 days fights a room of people he refuses to harm.
My days! I've never seen that before. You've really lost your touch. I expected more.
The Hatter is delighted. He has never seen Batman like this. He says the Dark Knight has lost his touch, and this time it is not just taunting. So the Hatter decides to end the night with a bang and reaches for something that goes bang. Tim saves him. Tim, who was told to stay in the car. Batman's thank you is a lecture. Back in the cave, Jean-Paul comes out of a training simulation shaking, and Alfred is there with a towel and infinite patience. He lasted longer than last time. He always lasts longer than last time. But progress is not the same as control, and he knows it. He had a life before the Order of Dumas turned him into Azrael. At least he thinks he did. Now he cannot say who he is or what. Alfred tells him something meant kindly that lands like a weight. Batman does not take people into his confidence lightly. He is here because Batman believes he can heal. Then Alfred recommends the English solution to everything. A nice cup of tea. Second tea offer in 10 minutes, and this one is sincere. Batman returns and hands out orders. Tim is to investigate the Arkham explosion from the cave, with Jean-Paul's help. Not in the field. Alfred tries to feed him. Alfred tries to make him sleep. Batman refuses both and walks back out into the night, which leaves Tim, Alfred, and one enormous semantic loophole. Batman said figure out how Arkham exploded. He never actually said where.
I think Master Bruce will take kindly to your semantic loop.
To the edge. I have to try to help him as best I can. I'm careful. I promise.
And
So Tim is going to the bomb site in person. Alfred does not approve. Alfred also does not stop him. And Jean-Paul is driving because Tim is 15 and does not have a license. Our heroes, everybody. Elsewhere, Gordon is holding a perimeter around a building where Zsasz has taken hostages, and Detective Montoya wants to go in. Gordon refuses to send officers in one at a time to be picked off. He is waiting for backup, and everyone knows he means Batman. Montoya's argument is the thesis of the entire film. One day he will not be here. Therefore, Gotham has to learn to stand up on its own. Gordon's answer is bleaker. If that day comes, the city is already lost, and there will be nothing anyone can do about it. Remember that because that day is Thursday. Inside, Zsasz has a hostage and a speech about how pointless her life is. Batman arrives. Zsasz puts his blade to the hostage and dares him to move. So Batman offers himself instead. The gun goes down. He steps forward, but Zsasz has been watching him too. He points at Batman and tells the hostage what he sees. A predator, someone exactly like himself. He asks how long before an exhausted man gives in to what is underneath. Then he suggests they find out together. Batman says he talks too much. Now watch how far this goes.
I say, you talk too much.
You have the hostages.
You talk too much.
You have the hostages.
Go!
Montoya has to physically shout at Batman to stop. The hostages are safe. Zsasz is barely breathing. Nobody in the room is celebrating. Batman leaves without a word. Montoya reports it straight to Gordon. His hero is losing control, and she is the second person to say it out loud. At the ruins of Arkham, Tim makes Jean-Paul wear a mask so nobody can link them to Batman. They are looking for evidence the police were too stretched to find, and Tim finds it. The scorch marks bloom outward in a sphere. This was not a gas leak. This was a bomb, a specific and expensive kind. Jean-Paul asks how a kid knows all this. Tim shrugs. He loves puzzles, and he intends to give the world's greatest detective a run for his money. He pulls a spectrometer out of his bag, because of course he does, and Jean-Paul recognizes it instantly from a past he cannot remember. His memories are jumbled. Bits and pieces that come and go. The residue matches a brand of explosive used weeks ago by the Bertinelli crime family. Therefore, Tim has a name and another field trip. Meanwhile, Nigma is entertaining his men with riddles, and nobody has the heart to tell him the answers are always terrible. But even he admits something else is moving through Gotham. A riddle he cannot solve. He wants to wait it out.
Or two. We wait it out until the time.
No one sits out tonight.
You are responsible.
A voice tells him nobody sits out tonight. Then the voice tells him he is responsible for all of it, and offers to teach him what true strength is. Watch what that lesson looks like.
Face, no!
Really losing
Word spreads fast. Someone got the Batman. Someone actually got him. What follows is inside Bruce's own head. Voices telling him he failed. That good people were lost because of him. That Tim is next. That Gotham would be better off without him. He tells himself none of it is real. He is not completely sure. He wakes in his car and calls Chandra without meaning to. She hears him and asks if he has slept. There is no time, he says. She asks what for. She tells him the first step to getting help is wanting it. She asks him to come to her office and talk. He almost says yes. Therefore, the moment passes and he hangs up. Because there is a riddle waiting for him at the clock tower, and Nigma is standing under it changed. The riddle's answer is not one Batman will like. Nigma cannot feel a thing. Then he collapses, and there is a bomb, which gives Batman about 40 seconds to get them both out. He makes it. Barely. Nigma ran off afterwards, moving faster than any man should, and Gordon's officers could not catch him. Gordon takes one look at his friend and drops the professional voice. Batman insists he is fine. Gordon calls it exactly what it is.
Besides, getting reports.
Of what?
A little more edgy than usual.
I'm fine.
Then he says the thing nobody has managed to make Bruce hear. If you ever need to talk, I am here. That is 3 people now in one night. Tim and Jean-Paul crash the Bertinelli dinner table with the explosive fragment. The boss insists it has nothing to do with him. Tim lays out the theory. Blow up Arkham, release the inmates, keep every officer in Gotham busy. But he cannot work out wise, so the boss tells him what really happened. Last week, the 5 crime families were called to a dinner. None of them called it. A man stepped out of the shadows so fast nobody saw him move. One family head was gone in a second. Then everything came apart at once. The man called himself Bane. He asked where they kept their explosives, and they told him everything. And then he simply looked at the last one alive like he was worth less than furniture, and walked away, which is when the room stops being safe. Jean-Paul comes back to himself standing over Bertinelli's men, and he is terrified of what he just did. He tells Tim it did not feel good. It felt out of control. He says he could have gone too far. Tim tells him he did not, and that the deprogramming is working. It is a kind thing to say. It is also not entirely true, and Tim is about to be alone. Bruce turns up at Chandra's office badly injured and tries to call it a mugging. She tells him he does not have to explain anything, but he should not insult her by lying about it. Then she gets her kid.
Let me get something for that wound.
I shouldn't have come. I just need paper towels and tape, and I'll pay for your time.
What?
I said I shouldn't have come.
He says he should not have come and offers to pay for her time, which is the single worst thing he could have said. She says she is glad he came and tells him to lie back. No hospital. No Alfred. She points out that he is lucky to have someone who would make a fuss, and he has no answer for that. Tim follows the explosives lead to a warehouse, and someone is already waiting inside. He is invited in. He wakes up tied to a chair and Bane greets him by name. Mr. Drake. He tells the boy detective to work it out himself. Tim lists it all. 4 of the 5 crime families gone. Their explosives taken. Arkham destroyed. He guesses a gang war. Bane says nothing so mundane. Then he says the sentence that turns the whole film. He knows exactly what Mr. Wayne likes to play at during the night. The plan was never chaos for its own sake. Empty Arkham stretched the police to nothing, and Batman will take on every gap himself. Tim asks if he means to end him. Bane corrects him gently. Break him. There is a difference and he intends to demonstrate it. His reason goes back to a magazine in a prison cell. Thomas Wayne built a city the world envied. His strength kept a boy alive in the dark for years. Therefore, arriving in Gotham broke something in him. He found charity where he expected strength, and he blames one man for all of it.
Surprised when I arrived to find it has been turned into sin. Charity. I wonder how Bruce's father would feel. The reason it has become a city of weaklings. Vagrant.
And he tells Tim the plan for him. When Batman finds him lifeless, the way he found the last Robin, his spirit will finally give out. Tim calls him crazy like the rest of them. Bane's reply is quiet and completely accurate. He is nothing like the rest of them. In a church, Jean-Paul is confessing. Tonight he remembered all of it, and what he saw was horrible. He asks how a man can live knowing what is inside him. The priest gives him an answer designed to sound like comfort. What is meant for harm can be turned to good. His skills can help the world instead of harming it. All he has to do is accept his destiny. And the word the priest uses for that destiny is Azrael. Remember, Gotham is about to have a vacancy. Alfred calls the cave. Tim has been harmed. Tim is battered and thrilled because he solved it. He knows who blew up Arkham. He tries to say the name. He also saw Jean-Paul move like lightning, dropping half a dozen men in seconds, and he thinks the conditioning triggers when a life is at risk. But Bruce is not hearing any of it. Tim disobeyed him. Tim could have been lost. Tim tries the semantic loophole. It does not work twice.
Found out who's creating all this chaos in Gotham. They call... What?
Master Bruce, please.
No. I need a partner that does what he's told.
So Bruce fires him. He says he needs a partner who does what he is told, because he cannot bury another Robin. Tim says he is not Jason. Bruce agrees. No, you are not. Then he tells him to get his things. Alfred promises he will come around. Tim does not believe him. Neither do we. And by the time Bruce climbs the stairs to apologize, the house is quiet in the wrong way. He calls for Alfred. He calls for Tim. Nobody answers. Bane is waiting in his home. He greets Batman like a man completing a long errand. The son of Thomas Wayne, a boy of privilege, a boy of tragedy. He calls him the weakness drowning the city and states his intention plainly. To break him, Batman tells him to try. You are going to want to see how this goes.
Good.
Bane says they call Batman the world's greatest detective. Therefore, he asks why the greatest detective never saw this coming. He calls him a crutch the city leans on and says it is time Gotham stood on its own feet. Montoya said almost the same words 2 hours ago. That is the horror of it. Then he goes to work on the part that is not a body. He tells Bruce he is always hiding. From the world, from the people closest to him, from his own failure. He says he has dreamt of Bruce, of his family, of the strength his father must have had to build an empire Bruce is not fit to rule because he lacks strength. The strength to save Tim, Alfred, the city, Jason, and then the cruelest part. He describes a small boy in an alley, unable to move while his parents were taken from him and the man responsible walked away into the night. He tells Bruce his parents must be glad they never lived to see what he allowed Gotham to become. Batman has heard enough. He throws away every tool he has and asks for fists. It is exactly what Bane wanted. He demands he beg. He demands he scream his name. Bruce tells him where to go instead.
To hell. I am Bane, but death would only end your agony. Instead, I will...
So Bane explains why he will not finish it. Ending it would end the pain and silence the shame. He wants the shame to last. Then he does the thing the whole movie has been walking toward, and Gotham loses its protector in a single moment. Outside, Wayne Manor is burning, and every news station in the city is on the lawn. Nobody has. Then a floodlight swings up to the second-story roof, and a shape is standing there in a cape. It announces that Gotham must do what it has not done in a generation. Fend for itself. Someone in the crowd says the word Batman hopefully, but this one gives an order to attack, and it is not a voice Gotham has heard before. The reporters go quiet. That cannot be Batman's. Can it? A man beside them says the only honest thing left to say. This city is about to become a very dark place, and somewhere in the ruins, a man who was told his whole life that mercy is weakness has finally been proven